Unbelievable U.S. government operations that actually happened. In pursuit of national security and global dominance, the U.S. government has undertaken covert operations that seem ripped from the pages of science fiction. Some were motivated by fear of foreign powers, others by the hubris of scientists and intelligence officers. From using animals as spies to elaborate false flag plans, these projects illustrate how extraordinary challenges led to bizarre and controversial decisions. Here are 10 of the most shocking U.S. government operations, packed with fascinating details that make these historical events almost too absurd to believe. Number 1. Acoustic Kitty, the $20 million feline spy project. During the Cold War, the CIA sought creative solutions to eavesdrop on Soviet targets. One of its most bizarre efforts was the Acoustic Kitty project, which began in the 1960s. The agency allocated approximately $20 million to transform a cat into a listening device. A veterinary surgeon was hired to perform a complex operation that implanted a microphone in the cat's ear canal, a transmitter in its skull, and a thin antenna running through its tail. The CIA believed that cats, being unremarkable in public settings, could blend into Soviet-occupied areas. However, the project was riddled with issues from the start. Cats, by nature, are independent and difficult to control. On its first mission outside the Soviet embassy in Washington, D.C., the cat was released but was immediately hit by a taxi and killed. Former CIA officer Victor Marchetti sarcastically summarized the failure: "They slit the cat open, put batteries in him, wired him up, and it got run over by a cab." Following this disastrous debut, the CIA scrapped the project, leaving it as one of the strangest episodes in the agency's history. Number 2. MKUltra, the dark world of mind control. Project MKUltra, launched in 1953, aimed to develop techniques for mind control. Directed by Sidney Gottlieb, the program involved administering psychoactive drugs like LSD to unsuspecting individuals, along with experiments involving hypnosis, sensory deprivation, and psychological manipulation. Some of these experiments targeted prisoners, psychiatric patients, and even sex workers' clients, whom CIA operatives would observe secretly. One of the program's darkest moments occurred in 1953 when Frank Olson, a CIA scientist, was given LSD without his knowledge. Olson became deeply paranoid, and just 9 days later, he fell from a 13th-floor window of the Statler Hotel in New York City. Some reports suggest Olson was pushed by CIA agents to prevent him from exposing the agency's secrets. The full extent of MKUltra only came to light during Senate hearings in 1975, resulting in widespread public outrage and demands for accountability. Number 3. Operation Northwoods, a false flag terror plot. In 1962, the U.S. Joint Chiefs of Staff proposed Operation Northwoods, a shocking plan to stage terrorist attacks on American soil to justify an invasion of Cuba. Suggestions included hijacking American planes, bombing civilian areas, and orchestrating deadly refugee incidents at sea. The goal was to blame these staged events on Fidel Castro's regime, building public support for military intervention. Although the proposal was never implemented, President John F. Kennedy outright rejected it, dismissing the military's extreme measures. However, declassified documents have kept Operation Northwoods in the public consciousness, fueling conspiracy theories about how far governments might go to manipulate public opinion and pursue geopolitical agendas. Number 4. The heart attack gun, an assassin's dream weapon. During 1975 Senate hearings on CIA covert activities, the existence of a secret weapon known as the heart attack gun was revealed. This weapon could fire a tiny dart laced with shellfish toxin that induced a fatal heart attack within moments. The dart was designed to penetrate clothing and leave only a small red mark on the skin. Since the toxin would melt inside the body, the cause of death appeared natural, making it nearly impossible to detect foul play during an autopsy. This revelation intensified concerns over CIA overreach during the Cold War. The gun became a potent symbol of the era's paranoia, where silent and untraceable assassination methods were actively pursued. Number 5. Operation Paperclip, embracing Nazi scientists. Following the end of World War II, the U.S. government secretly recruited more than 1,600 German scientists through Operation Paperclip, including individuals who had participated in war crimes. Among the most famous was Wernher von Braun, a former member of the SS, who helped develop the Saturn V rocket that powered the Apollo moon landings. The operation aimed to prevent these scientists from falling into Soviet hands, but it sparked ethical dilemmas. Many of the recruited scientists had worked directly under Adolf Hitler's regime, conducting brutal experiments and contributing to Nazi military efforts. Despite their dark pasts, they were integrated into U.S. research programs, contributing significantly to military and space advancements but leaving a controversial legacy. Number 6. Project Chariot, blowing up Alaska for a harbor. As part of the U.S. government's Operation Plowshare initiative, Project Chariot proposed detonating 5 nuclear bombs near Point Hope, Alaska, in 1958. The goal was to create an artificial harbor for coal export, but local indigenous communities vehemently opposed the project. They feared the radiation from the explosions would contaminate the land and water, devastating their way of life. Though the project was officially abandoned in 1962, subsequent investigations revealed that scientists had conducted unauthorized soil tests, contaminating the area with radioactive material. It took nearly 2 decades for environmental cleanup to be completed, illustrating the lasting impact of Cold War-era nuclear ambitions. Number 7. The Gay Bomb, a bizarre chemical weapon proposal. In 1994, the Pentagon considered developing a chemical weapon nicknamed the Gay Bomb. The idea was to deploy an aerosol containing chemicals that would cause enemy soldiers to become sexually attracted to each other, theoretically undermining military cohesion and morale. The proposal never went beyond initial discussions, but it has become infamous for its absurdity. This surreal plan exemplifies the outlandish lengths to which military researchers were willing to go in their pursuit of tactical advantages, reflecting the intersection of scientific experimentation and military fantasy. Number 8. Operation Underworld, partnering with the Mafia. During World War II, the U.S. Navy sought help from organized crime to secure the New York waterfront against potential sabotage by Axis powers. In 1942, they reached out to Lucky Luciano, the infamous head of the Luciano crime family. In exchange for his cooperation, Luciano received favorable treatment in prison, and his mafia connections assisted the U.S. military during Operation Husky, the Allied invasion of Sicily in 1943. This unlikely partnership between the U.S. government and the mafia underscores the compromises made in desperate times, illustrating how even criminals were enlisted in the fight against global threats. Number 9. Operation Mongoose, sabotage against Castro. After the failed Bay of Pigs invasion in 1961, the CIA launched Operation Mongoose to topple Fidel Castro. The operation included numerous bizarre assassination attempts, such as planting explosive cigars, rigging a scuba suit with poison, and even developing a scheme to make Castro's beard fall out to undermine his image. Despite these elaborate plots, Castro remained in power, leaving U.S. intelligence frustrated. The persistence of such far-fetched plans highlights the Cold War obsession with covert operations, where even outlandish ideas were entertained in the effort to remove perceived threats. Number 10. Project A119, nuking the moon. In the late 1950s, the U.S. Air Force devised Project A119, a secret plan to detonate a nuclear bomb on the moon. The project aimed to create a visible explosion that would serve as a show of American strength, sending a powerful message to the Soviet Union. Ultimately, Project A119 was abandoned in favor of more practical space exploration goals, but its existence underscores the extreme lengths to which Cold War powers were willing to go. The thought of transforming space into a battleground reflects the era's heightened fears and ambitions, where even celestial bodies were not exempt from geopolitical rivalry.